The Warriors have discovered their fatal flaw, no matter how much they try to downplay it. In Monday's nail-biting 102-99 loss to the Clippers, the glaring weakness of the Golden State Warriors came to the forefront in a way that can no longer be ignored. It wasn't their defense, it wasn't their offense, it was their free throw shooting. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. As the worst free throw shooting team in the NBA, the Warriors' struggles from the charity stripe have been a persistent issue, one that's slowly becoming harder to ignore. With a dismal 69.7% free throw shooting percentage over the course of their first 13 games, the Warriors are shooting below league average, and it's a stark contrast to their second-place position in the Western Conference standings. They've been able to get by in the regular season by relying on their talent and depth, but when it comes down to crunch-time moments, these missed free throws could come back to haunt them. In Los Angeles, during the loss to the Clippers, the problem continued. The Warriors went 9-4-19 from the free throw line, a performance that undoubtedly contributed to their three-point loss. With a game this tight, every point counts, and those missed free throws were a glaring issue that held the team back from securing a win. After the game, Steph Curry, who did not attempt a single free throw in the contest, spoke candidly about the problem. "I guess it's a glaring issue that we need to correct," Curry said. "It's not like we're going to spend an hour of practice just shooting free throws. It's about what you do pre-practice, post-practice to get your confidence right. It's something that can definitely be corrected, which is a good thing. We understand that the details do matter, like if you make maybe 5 more free throws, it changes the game. We've got to put in the work." Curry, as always, has a calm and measured approach when addressing issues, but the reality is, the Warriors are going to need to fix this sooner rather than later. While it may not seem like a big deal during the regular season, free throw shooting becomes far more critical when the pressure is on in the postseason, where every missed point can be the difference between advancing to the next round or going home. And in the case of the Warriors, who are aiming for another championship, these free throw struggles could very well be the one thing standing between them and their pursuit of another title. Head coach Steve Kerr echoed Curry's sentiments, acknowledging the teams need to improve at the free throw line. "Our guys have to get in the gym and find their rhythm, find their confidence from the line for sure," Kerr said. "We've been talking about it for a while now. It's just one of those things that we've got to correct." But Kerr and Curry also pointed out that, despite the free throw woes, the primary reason for the loss to the Clippers wasn't just missed free throws. The Warriors' 19 turnovers were also a significant factor in the defeat. Kerr even said, "As a coach, my focus is more on the turnovers than the missed free throws." He pointed to the Warriors' strong 10-2 record before this loss to the Clippers as proof that their free throw shooting hasn't yet derailed their season. But as Kerr himself admitted, this problem is one that needs attention before it becomes a bigger issue. The Warriors' focus on turnovers is understandable. The Warriors have historically been a team that thrives on fast breaks and quick transitions. Turnovers can quickly lead to fast break points for their opponents, and giving up the ball so frequently is always a recipe for disaster. However, the fact remains that free throw shooting is an issue that the Warriors cannot afford to continue ignoring. The correlation between free throw shooting and overall team success is undeniable. Among the NBA's bottom 15 free throw shooting teams, only 5 have a winning record. This further emphasizes the importance of free throw shooting and why it's critical for the Warriors to turn things around. Despite their depth and all-around talent, the Warriors have not been able to translate that depth into free throw success. Here's a closer look at how the Warriors' non-Curry players are performing from the free throw line. Andrew Wiggins, who has been a key contributor for the Warriors this season, is shooting just 72.3% from the line. Draymond Green, one of the team's most important defensive players, is shooting 69.7%. Kevin Looney, a crucial presence in the paint, is shooting a mere 60.9%, and Jonathan Kuminga, who has shown flashes of brilliance, is at 60.7%. None of these numbers are close to acceptable for a team that is gunning for a championship. It's not just one or two players, it's a collective problem. While free throw struggles may not make a huge difference in the regular season, they will certainly be magnified come playoff time. The Warriors, with their aspirations for a deep playoff run, can't afford to leave points on the board in crucial moments. The stakes are simply too high. In tight playoff games, where every possession is critical, those missed free throws could cost the Warriors dearly. One of the few bright spots in the Warriors' free throw shooting is, unsurprisingly, Curry. Curry has been nearly flawless from the free throw line, making 33 of 35 attempts, a remarkable 94.3%. No one else on the team who shot a similar number of free throws comes close to his level of accuracy. However, as much as Curry's free throw shooting is a bright spot, it's also a reminder of how much the Warriors need the rest of their roster to step up. Curry can't fix the team's free throw woes alone, and the team's overall success will rely on the improvement of others, not just Curry. Unfortunately, Curry's free throw attempts are few and far between, which compounds the issue. For a player of Curry's caliber, it's unusual for him to have games where he doesn't get to the free throw line at all. This has been a consistent pattern throughout his career, and it only makes the problem more complicated for the team. Maybe free throws affect your confidence because you're leaving easy points on the board, Curry said with a laugh. But I didn't get to the line tonight, so I couldn't help. The Warriors' free throw struggles are a problem that can no longer be ignored. The team is deep, talented, and capable of winning a championship, but they cannot continue to miss free throws at this rate without facing serious consequences. As the season moves forward, the Warriors will need to find a way to improve their free throw shooting if they want to reach their ultimate goal of winning another NBA title. If they don't, those missed free throws could ultimately cost them when it matters most. The clock is ticking, and the Warriors need to start correcting this flaw before it's too late. The Miami Heat have encountered a bumpy start to their season, posting a 6-7 record and sitting in the 6th position in the Eastern Conference. Despite this lackluster performance, the Heat organization seems determined to stay positive and hold on to their current roster. There is, however, a growing sense of uncertainty surrounding the team's direction. While the Heat have enjoyed success in recent seasons, it's clear that this year's struggles have raised some concerns. In such a fast-paced league like the NBA, where things can change in the blink of an eye, it's easy to see why questions are starting to arise about the Heat's future. A key player whose future seems increasingly uncertain is none other than Jimmy Butler. Butler has been the centerpiece of Miami's efforts for several years and has often been the driving force behind their success. His leadership, scoring, and overall impact have made him one of the league's most respected players. But, despite his talent and strong performances, there's no escaping the fact that he's now 35 years old and has been dealing with injuries that have affected his consistency. His recent performances, such as a standout display against the Philadelphia 76ers, show that he still has the ability to take over a game and carry Miami on his back. But the questions surrounding his fitness and the durability of his body have only increased as the years have gone by. Additionally, Butler's contract situation adds another layer of complexity to his future with the Heat. As his contract continues to age, the likelihood of Miami needing to make a move in the near future becomes more and more plausible. While the Heat's leadership has maintained a positive outlook, it's clear that the team could be facing some difficult decisions soon. At some point this season, they will likely have to consider exploring trade options involving Butler. Moving on from a star player is never an easy decision, especially one who has been such a major part of the team's identity. But in a league like the NBA, where every team is constantly looking to build for the future, the Heat may have to start thinking about what's best for their long-term success. As these rumblings about Butler's future continue to surface, one trade proposal has caught attention. A 3-team trade involving the Miami Heat, Golden State Warriors, and Toronto Raptors. This trade has been suggested by Dan Favale in Bleacher Report's one trade every NBA team should propose right now. The deal would send a mix of young talent and future draft picks from Golden State to Miami in exchange for Jimmy Butler, along with a couple of other assets. Specifically, the Heat would acquire Jonathan Kuminga, DeAnthony Melton, and Andrew Wiggins from the Warriors. In addition, Miami would receive a number of valuable draft picks, including Golden State's 2025 first-round pick, a 2026 first-round pick swap, and first-round picks in 2027 and 2030, protected numbers 21 to 30. Additionally, the Heat would receive Atlanta's 2028 second-round pick. This package of young talent and picks could help set the Heat up for the future, giving them the opportunity to build around emerging stars and future assets. In return, the Warriors would acquire Jimmy Butler, who could potentially be the final piece they need to get back to championship contention. Along with Butler, the Warriors would also receive Bruno Fernando and Josh Richardson, 2 players who could help add depth to their roster. The Raptors, meanwhile, would acquire Gary Payton II, a key defensive player for Golden State, along with a second-round pick from Atlanta in 2026, via Golden State, and Miami's protected 2031 second-round pick. This trade would help all 3 teams address their current needs and set themselves up for future success. From the Heat's perspective, this proposed trade represents a potential shift away from their aging superstar in Jimmy Butler. While Butler has been fantastic for the Heat over the years, He is now 35 and has dealt with injuries that have hampered his availability and performance. While he can still be a dominant player when healthy, his age and injury history make it unclear how much longer he can carry the Heat to championship contention. Moving on from Butler would allow Miami to invest in younger players who could help the team stay competitive over the long run. The Heat could build around Adebayo, who remains an elite defensive force, and continue to develop Tyler Herro, who has shown tremendous growth. If Miami can add more young talent through the trade, they could set themselves up for future success. Despite all of Butler's continued greatness, it's impossible to ignore the reality that the Heat's championship window with him as their primary star may have closed. While Butler's leadership and big-game performances have carried Miami to the NBA Finals in recent years, the Heat's overall ceiling with him on the roster has started to feel limited. A shift away from Butler could allow the team to begin fresh with a new direction, embracing a rebuilding phase or a retooling phase that could yield better results in the future. Bam Adebayo, though still a fantastic player, has not yet shown that he can be the type of leader to carry a team to a championship by himself. He has all the talent and skills to be an integral part of a winning team, but he is not necessarily the kind of player who can single-handedly elevate a roster to an NBA title. Tyler Herro, on the other hand, has shown incredible promise. If he continues to develop, he could become the type of player the Heat need to build around as they enter a new era of their franchise. The hope for Miami is that by making this trade and shedding Butler's aging contract, they could make room for new star acquisitions or develop a new young core capable of competing at the highest level. Ultimately, if the Heat are serious about making another title run, they will need to make some difficult decisions. Trading Jimmy Butler would be one of the hardest moves for the franchise to make, but it might be necessary if they want to set themselves up for future success. This trade could allow them to acquire young talent and future assets, ultimately putting them in a better position to compete in the years to come. As the season unfolds, it's likely that the Heat will continue to evaluate all of their options and consider whether it's time for a fresh start. As the NBA season continues to unfold, trade rumors are swirling, with one of the most talked-about stories being the potential move of Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Greek Freak has been linked to several teams, including the Golden State Warriors, who are reportedly eyeing him to further enhance their championship hopes. At the same time, the Houston Rockets have emerged as a potential suitor for Giannis, with both teams competing to secure the star. The Rockets, sitting fourth in the Western Conference, have been playing impressive basketball, and their pursuit of Giannis is no secret. However, as always in the world of the NBA, nothing is finalized yet, and the speculations continue to grow. In the midst of this trade frenzy, there is a player whose future is being shaped by his team's faith in him, Brandon Podziemski. Podziemski, a young talent who joined the Warriors with great promise, has faced challenges early in his career, particularly with his shooting consistency. Many fans and analysts had initially expected him to be part of the trade package that could bring Giannis to Golden State. However, Warriors head coach Steve Kerr has publicly supported Podziemski, showcasing his belief in the player's potential despite his struggles. At a recent press conference, Kerr addressed Podziemski's difficulties with his shot and provided insight into what the young player was experiencing. Kerr explained, "He's not shooting with much confidence right now. I think that's obvious. This is part of being in the NBA. Everyone goes through stretches where they just don't feel it." Kerr, who has had a long and successful coaching career in the NBA, knows that all players experience ups and downs. His approach to mentoring young players is rooted in patience and understanding, which has undoubtedly helped Podziemski remain calm during his rough patch. Despite the belief that Podziemski could be included in a trade deal to acquire Giannis, Kerr's reassurance has given him a boost. The way he shot at the end of last year, all summer, watching him in camp. He's a really good shooter. So, he will find it. We've just got to help him a little bit. Right now, he's just not in rhythm, not shooting it with confidence, Kerr continued, expressing optimism that the player would find his shooting touch again. This support from Kerr is crucial for Podziemski, as it gives him the confidence to continue working hard and developing his game, knowing that his coach believes in him. It's clear that Kerr sees Podziemski as an important part of the Warriors' future. While the team is in pursuit of Giannis, Kerr is determined not to sacrifice the young talent for a short-term solution. The Warriors' championship aspirations may be immediate, but they also recognize the importance of maintaining a balance between veteran players and young, promising talent. While a player like Giannis could elevate their chances of winning another title, the Warriors' long-term strategy is to nurture their younger players and integrate them into the team system. The question remains, should the Warriors risk trading key players like Brandon Podziemski to secure Giannis Antetokounmpo? Many fans and analysts would argue that the Warriors should keep their current roster intact. Golden State already has a solid foundation with Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, three future Hall of Famers who have already proven they can win championships together. Adding Giannis to the mix would undoubtedly make the Warriors an even more dangerous team, but it could also disrupt the chemistry that has made them so successful over the years. Trading Podziemski, Jonathan Kuminga, and other young assets could be seen as a necessary move to bring in Giannis, but it also comes with risks. Podziemski, although struggling with his shooting, has shown flashes of brilliance and has the potential to become a key contributor to the Warriors in the future. The team's ability to develop young players and integrate them into their system has been a hallmark of their success over the past decade. Podziemski's development could be part of the Warriors' long-term success, and it would be a shame to part with him before seeing what he can truly become. Kerr's confidence in Podziemski and his belief that the young player can turn things around is a testament to the Warriors' commitment to developing talent. While the Giannis trade rumors will continue to swirl, it's clear that the Warriors are taking a patient approach, allowing their young players to grow while remaining competitive in the present. The Warriors are not in a rush to make a deal that could impact their future, even if that means passing up an opportunity to acquire a player of Giannis' caliber. While the Warriors are weighing the pros and cons of acquiring Giannis, the Houston Rockets are making their own moves to land the superstar. The Rockets, after a strong start to the season, have positioned themselves as serious contenders in the Western Conference. With a balanced roster featuring players like Fred VanVleet, Alperen Sengun, and Jalen Green, the Rockets have shown they are capable of competing with some of the league's best teams. The Rockets' ambition doesn't stop there. Reports indicate that the team is planning a major push to acquire Giannis, potentially packaging key players like Jalen Green along with draft picks to make the deal happen. The Rockets are clearly aiming to build a championship contending team, and adding Giannis to the mix would be a game-changer. With the Rockets' young core and the possibility of acquiring another star like Kevin Durant, they are positioning themselves to challenge for titles in the near future. The potential acquisition of Giannis by the Rockets could have a significant impact on the Warriors' plans. If Houston were to land the Greek Freak, it would make the Western Conference even more competitive, and the Warriors would have to adjust their strategy accordingly. However, the Rockets' pursuit of Giannis does provide a sense of security for Brandon Podziemski. While the Warriors have been involved in trade talks for the superstar, they have also shown a commitment to keeping Podziemski and developing him into a key piece for their future. As of now, Brandon Podziemski seems to be safe from the trade rumors swirling around Giannis. With Kerr's backing and the team's commitment to his development, it's likely that Podziemski will remain a Warrior for the foreseeable future. While the team's championship window remains open with the current roster, the Warriors are also focused on building for the future, and Podziemski could play a significant role in that. Under the guidance of Stephen Curry, who is known for his leadership and mentorship, Podziemski has the opportunity to unlock his full potential. Curry's ability to help younger players develop their skills and confidence is one of the reasons the Warriors have been so successful over the years. Podziemski could learn a great deal from Curry, both on and off the court, and he could become a valuable contributor to the team's success in the coming seasons. As the NBA season progresses and trade rumors continue to swirl, one thing is clear. Brandon Podziemski's future with the Golden State Warriors remains bright. Whether or not the Warriors end up landing Giannis Antetokounmpo, Podziemski is positioned to play a key role in the team's future, and his development under the guidance of Steve Kerr and Stephen Curry could make him a cornerstone of the Warriors' success for years to come.